Welcome to our second installment of my mini series here on 50 Plus. This one is 40 years ago, 1983. I can't believe 1983 is 40 years ago. For those of you guys watching the show, I'm showing you my diploma from, I guess, K through 8 school, middle school, from 1983. I'm class of 1983. We were the first class of the school at Sierra here in Los Angeles. We were the first class, eighth grade class. And so I graduated eighth grade 40 years ago and started high school 40 years ago, later that fall. So I can't believe it. So I was 14 years old, and I was 13 and turned 14. My birthday's in May. So I turned. And so that was that. And I lived in Los Angeles. We were in Inglewood. I lived in Inglewood at the time. Back in this house where I lived. This room wasn't even here in 1983. I was living in a room in another room there with my brother. So I think in 1983, I think, wow, it's kind of a long time ago. I can't believe it. I'm old enough to remember that. So like the last series, we're doing as last, we did 1973 first, 50 years ago. We're going to continue with 1993, 2003, 2013, and today, the rest of the year. And we're going to do top 10 music singles, top 10 music albums, top 10 TV shows that season, and top 10 movies. It gives you a gauge of kind of what was popular at the time. Literally what was popular at the time. Again, we had a few video games. Cable was still young. MTV was only a couple years old. Like I mean, I was still playing outside. I know, it was crazy. So we're gonna go through. Let's get into it. I think this stuff's been kind of fun. I'll tell you little stories as I go along. So these are top 10 singles of 1983. I have a little listing over here. I'm reading off this list. I don't know them by heart. Number 10, Eurythmics with their first American single, Sweet Dreams Are Made of This. I'll never get that video. Number 9, She's a Maniac, Maniac for, yes, Michael Sambello from the Flashdance soundtrack. Number 8, Baby, Come to Me. Will you put your arms around me? Patty Austin and James Ingram, Baby, Come to Me. Number 7, Man Eater by Hall & Oates. I love it, love it, love it. Number 6, Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler. This was the height, and now we get to the top 5. This was the height of Michael Jackson mania and Thriller mania. He had 2 songs in the top 5. That's how hot he was. Number 5 was Beat It. Beat It. Number 4, and I had a notebook with their album Business as Usual on it. Their song number 4 was Down Under by Men at Work. The other song from Flashdance, Irene Cara's Oscar-winning song, Flashdance, What a Feeling. At number 2, Billie Jean Is Not My Lover, folks. Billie Jean and Michael Jackson. And the number 1 song, I love it, the song about stalking, that people think it's a love song, Every Breath You Take, The Police. I saw The Police years later. I love this album, Synchronicity. Never saw them in concert. Saw them years later when they reunited. Remember, after this album, they broke up. Sorry, thereafter. They were great in concert. They were great in concert. Okay. Now let's move on to top 10 television programs of the 83-84 season. I've decided, because I said, well, I'll do 82-83, but I said, no, I'll do 83-84. So I'm just choosing that. As measured by Nielsen Media Research, of course. At number 10, Cagney and Lacey. Oh my God. Number 10 on CBS. Number 9, a show no one talks about, Hotel on ABC. Number 8, Kate and Allie. Oh my God, on CBS. Now, I want to say, at number 11 was Knots Landing by just a half a point. Just want people to know that. It was just right below there. But it was the height of the soaps were big. So about to enter the top 7. The other soaps are in top 7. So number 7 is Falcon Crest on CBS. Number 6 is Magnum PI, CBS. Number 5, Simon and Simon on CBS. Now, Simon and Simon, I did an episode on my show, Have You Heard of Me? Check out that one. I did a whole episode on Simon and Simon. Number 4, I keep forgetting how big this show is. I think I'd never watched an episode. The A-Team, Mr. T on NBC. Number 3 was Dynasty on ABC. Go on, Dynasty. Number 2 was 60 Minutes on CBS. And the number 1 show, the 83-84 season, Dallas, CBS. So Dallas, Dynasty, Falcon Crest, and Nothing were in top 11 shows. Also need to mention Aftermash, which was that spinoff, was number 15 for the season. Just want to make sure that's kind of interesting. Okay, so your top 10 shows. Now we're going to top 10 albums of 1980. These are the best-selling albums of 1983. I believe I have all of them, I believe. Just below at number 11, like I mentioned it, it's a Flashdance soundtrack. It's missing by a hair. But at number 10, do you want to see me down on my knees or bending over backwards now? Would you be pleased? I'm not the others. I'll do any. It's Madonna's Madonna. I played that album to death. That was burning up. Right. Number 9, Frontiers by Journey. Favorites. Number 8, Sports, Huey Lewis and News. They're such a fun band, right? Number 7, Let's Dance. David Bowie. He's working it out. And of course, my favorite groups of all time, and I've never seen them in concert, Pyromania by Def Leppard. Number 5, their videos were the bomb. Eliminator by ZZ Top. The top 4. Here we go. Top 4. I'm looking at all the covers are very colorful. The top 4. Number 4. I can't even say it. She's So Unusual by Cyndi Lauper, her debut album. Such a great album. Some great hits on there. Number 3, they won Best New Artist Grammy that year. And Boy George says a sentence that was never uttered on television before. America has great taste. You know a good drag queen when you see one. Culture Club with Color by Numbers. That album was huge. 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 Number 2, another huge album. Synchronicity, The Police. I love all their videos. I think of the Wrapped Around Your Finger video with all the candles. Oh my God. Oh, that's just crazy. And number 1, he's outrageous. He said 29 times, whatever. Can't Slow Down, Lionel Richie. Now she had the number 1 album of 1983. That is so interesting, right? This is pre-Madonna's. She was just getting started, kids. She was just getting started. Now, the top movies, 1983, all over the place too. All over the place. I just want to say, underneath the top, underneath, I'm just because I can do this. It's my show. The top 3. 3 movies underneath the top 10. Number 13 is Gandhi, very important. Number 12 is Never Say Never Again, which of course is a James Bond film that's not really, just whatever. And number 3, Superman 3. Number 11, Superman 3, I can't believe that. Okay, the top 10 movies of 1983, grossing movies of 1983 are number 10, National Lampoon's Vacation, love those. Number 9, The Star-Making Turn for Tom Cruise, Risky Business. Number 8, the sequel to Saturday Night Fever, Staying Alive. Number 7, Michael Keaton was hilarious, Mr. Mom. Number 6, Octopussy, the actual James Bond film. Well, yeah. There's a whole thing about look all that up. There's a whole thing about those 2 movies. Because Sean Connery came back and it was a whole thing. Number 5, War Games, Matthew Broderick. Number 4, Trading Places. Number 3, Flashdance. Number 2, a great film that's hilarious, Tootsie. And for me as a Star Wars fan, the number 1 movie of 1983, and I saw it in the theater like several times. Now it's Star Wars Episode 4, because 5. Sorry, 6. Sorry, no 6. They get all confused. Now it's Star Wars Episode 6 because the trilogy it's the end of the second trilogy. No, second. Yeah, whatever. Return of the Jedi, which is my favorites. I love Return of the Jedi. Really good movie. But that was the #1 movie of 1983. It's Star Wars. And what, 40 years later, Disney Plus has Star Wars series, which I do on this channel. And my show, Darth Vader is Your Father, and listen to all the after shows. So that's the one movie of 1983. So as you can see, very well-rounded times, 1983, 40 years ago. There are people who are born in 83, who I'm friends with, it's kind of funny, who are now living their lives as 40-year-olds, and they're in their 40s. The 40s were great for me. I love the 40s. So we're going to continue this whole thing in tradition. Another thing for me, I just look back at that time period, and it was the year before I started working. I started working at like 14, I started at 15, I started working. So the next year, I get my first job. I get a permit, get my first job as a day camp counselor at the Hollywood YMCA with my sister Lauren. So that started my whole. I've been working ever since, literally ever since. So I've been working almost 40 years. That's another thing that's kind of crazy. Like, wow, 40 years. So that's what starts. And I was in my high school career. And it was a few years before I had a child. All kind of stuff. So it's like it was still the innocent times. And also 1983, that summer, I should mention this. I was one of the first computer camps that Apple ran. Went for the summer. I went to Santa Barbara with the Westmont College. I wish anybody who went there contact me. I'd love to see you see this. I don't know if you'll see this. I had a great time and made some friends with the counselors and the friends. But I went and learned how to sail boats, and we played games and played sports. But we learned on Apple IIe's and Apple IIc computers. Lived in dorms. It was one of the best experiences of my life. Thank you to my parents and friends who helped get me there. It was expensive for that time. I think it was like in the thousands or whatever, however it was. But they got me there, and I wanted to go. But I didn't go into computers, unfortunately. But I did live in San Francisco when the .com boom happened. So, that was 1983 also. So I was there. And now I'm sitting here on my Mac computer right now, just talking to you. I'm James Hutchins. You can follow me everywhere. 50 Plus is everywhere also. Celebrate your past. We'll see you next week with 1993. Bye.